On the field. Off the field. Sports talk. Entertainment and more. This is Sauce on the Side.
Well, hello there, Dippers, and welcome back to episode 102 of the Sauce on the Side podcast. As always, Dippers, I'm your host, Drake, joined by the man, the producer, Mr. Leighton Pip Shaventone.
R.I.P. Tyler Skaggs.
And making his return, the hot take detective, live in studio, Mr. Brandon Riker.
So every time I come to Leighton's apartment, rather house.
I have a house.
Yeah, you do have a house. Something always amazes me. But one thing that I've never noticed, after I was getting that pizza delivery earlier, you realize he has a Beware of the Dog sign?
Yes, and he has two cats.
And he has two cats.
And as soon as you walk in, he has a George Foreman grill standing there.
Yeah, he has plenty of room outside to put this George Foreman grill. But where does it go? His living room.
Dude, like, you don't understand the convenience of just grilling in your living room.
I feel like there's a reason that most people don't have grills that let out a large amount of smoke in their living room.
That doesn't smoke at all. That has very minimal smoke.
But it's a George Foreman grill that's on a stand. Leighton C just brings the tailgate to him.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Could you imagine? Every day you could sit there and watch a Cubs game in the comfort of your own home and have your own tailgate if you had that George Foreman grill.
Yeah, see, I tell my boss today, my boss is trying to hit on me for some reason. I'll tell him today, like, Mr. Boss, I'm in 2029. I'm trying to live in 2019 still. That actually happened today. That really
You actually had a conversation about your George Foreman grill?
No, it's about how I'm living in 2029 here in 2019 still. Got to catch up to me.
All right, well, you heard it here first. Leighton C, living in 2029. Where does KD go next after this?
Ooh, he actually retired from the Nets and goes play in Barcelona for a few years. Gets more rings, then he comes back and plays for the Wizards.
Okay. A true ring chaser.
His hometown Wizards come back at vet minimum.
All right, you heard it here first. So, Dippers, be sure to listen on Spotify, iTunes, download, subscribe, give us that 5-star review, follow on Twitter and Instagram at The Saucy Pod. So, guys, we have a huge show for you. NBA free agency. Basically, we're going to beat it like a dead horse. We have tons of stuff to talk about. Talk about guys that haven't signed yet. Talk about guys who have already signed. Does it make their teams better? We have the hot take detective back, like I said earlier, and a little bit of MLB chatter and the shittiest take of the week. But before we get to any of that, real quick ad here by the folks at Nubability. So this episode is actually brought to you by Nubability Athletics. They instruct, inspire, and encourage congenital and traumatic amputees to compete in mainstream sports. They have camps throughout the U.S. and Southern Illinois for limb-different youth and amputees ages 4 through 17. You can follow them on Instagram at Nubability Athletics, and you can also follow at Sam Kuhnert, that's SamKuhnert on Instagram as well for more. So guys, NBA free agency, when you just look at it, who got the biggest names? You can't get any further than talk about the Brooklyn Nets. Guys, they were able to acquire Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, who didn't take max money. Neither one of them took max money. They shaved off about $5 million for their boy DeAndre Jordan. So, guys, what are your thoughts on this, and did you see this coming?
So it's kind of saw it coming a few weeks ago when KD tore his Achilles. It started coming out that he wasn't, like, the Knicks thing kind of becoming shaky then. And then the past week or so, it's became known that he wants to play with Kyrie. We'll play together, or how that would work out. And in fact, what was it? 2 weeks ago, it came out that the Nets were not going to sign Kyrie Irving if it didn't guarantee Kevin Durant. So I think, but a lot of perspective, I think Kevin Durant's worried about his injury. And what if you're thinking back in his mind, what if I can't be who I've been for 15 years of my career? What if I need Kyrie Irving to be, my 1A or my 1B?
Oh, absolutely. And I kind of had some inside knowledge, and I knew I met a professional athlete's trainer.
Name drop.
I tried to do whatever I could not to name drop right there. But
do your best.
He had told me that Kyrie Irving was really, really, really wanting to play for the Brooklyn Nets. And as we all know, there was no way they were just going to sign Kyrie Irving by himself. So it did make me start to think that maybe KD was coming there because that was the only other big name that was connected to Brooklyn at some point in this offseason. But I think I agree with Layton. This is definitely... If he knew 100% he was coming back, there's no doubt in my mind he would just taken that 31.5 easy little paycheck from the Warriors and then joined a offseason where there's not a lot of big names next offseason. Mm-hmm. There's 9. He would be the top dog and he would get whatever he wanted. Achilles injury, I hear time and time again, we've seen it, hardest injury possibly in sports to come back to, especially in basketball. So that's what that tells me. But really excited for the Brooklyn Nets of the future, and kind of sucks we have to wait for a year to see it. But
yeah, every free agency, wait till next year. Wait till next year.
But this legitimately is, we know it's going to be there. We just cannot see it till next year.
No, I agree. And honestly, this whole unraveling kind of just reminded us how much of a problem Kyrie Irving by himself can be. Because, like Layton said, the Nets all but came out and said that they were not going to sign Kyrie unless it guaranteed Kevin Durant. So they weren't willing to put up with that headache of Kyrie Irving. They would just go back with D'Angelo Russell, who, in fact, is less of a team cancer than Kyrie Irving, which is kind of weird to say, unless it guaranteed them a top 3 player in the world. Now, this is going to run into one of those weird scenarios where... there's only one ball. How many times do you guys think you're going to hear this over the next week? Oh, there's only one ball.
Oh, we hear it all the time with a lot of teams in the NBA. But then every team wants to just keep adding playmakers and do it all guys. So,
well, we figured out that actually does win games.
Yeah.
So, I mean...
Yes.
The better players you have, the more games you win.
Absolutely.
Blowing my mind right now.
Facts.
Yes.
But really, it's if you can get a couple guys to buy in. And how crazy is it, Drake? You just said it. D'Angelo Russell is less of a cancer than Kyrie Irving.
That is actually
D'Angelo
crazy.
Russell... What was that shit with Nick Young?
Yes, the man who single-handedly tore away the greatest Lakers roster we've seen in our lifetimes with Swaggy P, D'Lo. He ripped the hearts away, tore it all down, made it possible for LeBron James to come to the team. Mm-hmm. So that's all I'm saying there. So, guys, just for next year, how good do you think that this team will be without Kevin Durant?
For the show, we named off all the teams. Obviously, depends where Kawhi goes. Kawhi goes to the Raptors. They're definitely better than the Nets. But I'm going to put them 5 to 7 range.
Yeah, I mean...
Bottom 3 of the playoffs, probably.
So basically the same spot, though.
Yes.
Yeah. You got their win total higher, though?
Like maybe 3 or 4 wins.
That's it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I see it going higher than that.
The same spot... Yeah, it has to be the same win total. Close to it. It could be a 5 seed unless you have every other team in the Eastern Conference winning a shit ton more games next year.
Well, they were 6 seed last year. And they were 6 seed by like 6 games last year.
No, they were the 6 seed by, I believe it was 1 game.
No, I'm saying to the 5th seed. They were like 6 games behind the Pacers.
Yeah, no, they were several games. I'm going to go ahead and put it out there. I think this team could possibly miss the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
There's a chance.
Chance.
Here's why. The last time we saw Kyrie Irving as the best player on his team, the obvious best player on his team, like more than likely he was the best player on that Celtics team, but Al Horford, that was basically Al Horford's team there with the Celtics. He was the ship that he was the captain of the ship there, along with Brad Stevens. He went 78 and 142 before he got LeBron James. And he was still a very, very good player. For some reason, whenever he puts up numbers, it is not put out for team success. He almost had twice as many losses as he did wins, being the number 1 option. Obviously, this team has a ton of good role players that'll fit in. DeAndre Jordan, where was DeAndre Jordan even playing at the end of last season? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of questions here. Obviously, the pieces look like they're nice, but realistically, when you boil it down, you don't have a lot of guys who win basketball games on this team. We've seen DeAndre Jordan play along 2 superstars before and still not even reach the Western Conference Finals. Yep. So I think this team, I know I said it last year about the LeBron James move to the Lakers, that they were more in... There was a better chance that they missed the playoffs than win an NBA championship. I think this team has a better chance to miss the playoffs than be a top 3 seed in the East.
Well, maybe it'd be the top 3 seed, but, I mean, you had a couple flaws with that argument. Kyrie Irving was a rookie, completely... I mean, he's a completely different player than he was when he was the best player on his team.
And all that, though.
Okay, I mean,
here's
other players other than people like LeBron are not just natural leaders, and maybe... I mean, Kyrie Irving can still.
There are players not as good as Kyrie Irving who are natural leaders, yes. But Kyrie Irving has most likely matured a whole lot from when he was 19 years old.
It's been many a year.
Most likely, we hope.
Yes, and he's won a championship in that point of time.
Yeah.
And
it's not that he was like... Okay, so I think he just didn't like Boston. He said he didn't like playing in Boston.
He didn't like Cleveland. Where else does he... What is he going to like?
He wants to go to Brooklyn. He didn't get to pick Boston. He didn't get to pick Cleveland. He chose Brooklyn.
That's
whatever Rock Nation has going on, he wanted to be in Brooklyn.
And let's not say they have slouches for role players. I mean, this is a team who got the 6th seed last year.
No, they did fine, but they also had D'Angelo Russell, who was playing at an all-star level.
Yes, so you're adding an all-star, and then you're adding another player who, even if he's not an all-star, DeAndre Jordan is a walking double-double if he gets the minutes. That's replacing Ed Davis, who DeAndre Jordan still is better than Ed Davis. And then you still have Dinwiddie, you still have Karis LeVert, you still have Joe Harris, you still have players who are decent role players. And you do definitely have more three-point shooting than LeBron had this year.
No, that's definitely true. Real quick, do you guys disagree with that, though? Do you think this team has a better chance to miss the playoffs than be a top 3 seed in the East? That's if Kawhi Leonard comes back.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and that's probably right, but I think that just shows
but at the same time,
the lopsidedness of the top 3 that's probably going to be in the East next season.
Yeah.
At the same time, though, I wouldn't be shocked at all if they're the 4 seed next year.
I would be very shocked. I would be. I don't know.
I can see them being the 4 seed.
Them, the Pacers, and Boston all just like one game apart. I don't even surprised by that at all.
I'll be very surprised.
But before we go off that trade real quick, yesterday me and Jake were watching the NBA special on ESPN, and Mona Shelburne, as this happened, just kept saying how KD for years has wanted to play with Kyrie Irving and DeAndre Jordan.
What?
For years,
What?
this has been
For
a
years.
thing. So while following Woe for these Rose bombs,
You should be following her.
is it more fucking Roman bombs is under the table here?
Under the table, yeah, because she also dropped the fact that the Knicks wouldn't sign a max contract for KD.
I probably can follow her on Twitter.
Yeah, no, she's definitely worth a Twitter.
I mean, I
follow.
would have known that DeAndre Jordan and that stuff years ago, apparently.
Yeah, no, you definitely would have if you'd been following her Twitter account. The writing's been on the wall, boys.
This is blowing my mind. I did not hear this.
Yeah, no.
Oh, yeah.
Years.
For years.
Since Team USA, last Olympics.
Yeah. For years.
Oh, God. All right.
Something that made this all possible was the fact that Golden State Warriors reached out and were able to trade for D'Angelo Russell, a sign and trade with the Nets. They also dropped the Andre Iguodala contract in the trade. So Golden State Warriors add D'Angelo Russell, lose KD and Andre Iguodala. What do you guys think about the D'Angelo Russell move just by itself for Golden State?
To dippers who don't know, Brandon's a really big Ohio State basketball fan, and he especially loved that team D'Angelo Russell was on, and Russell especially. So Brandon, take the floor on this one.
Well, they were my team for one game that season. But, I mean, I like it. So there was talk, and I didn't agree with it, but there were some talks thinking the Warriors wouldn't even make the playoffs, which, even with the D'Angelo Russell, I think that's ridiculous.
That's absolutely ridiculous.
I mean, you still have Stephen Curry. You still have Draymond Green. They were going to put another player around that. They were going to be okay. But what was not certain was what they were going to do from here. Was a core of eventually Klay Thompson, Draymond Green, and Stephen Curry going to be good enough to be the Warriors that we know of them today? The almost locked to be a top 3 seed, a lock to be near the NBA championship. You have to add talent, you have to add pieces, and D'Angelo Russell, what we know he is a young all-star, and no matter what, he is a piece that either you can use, he doesn't work, you can move him, you have now a piece, because you know what they don't have? They don't have good draft picks, because where are their draft picks? Number 30.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't do you anything.
No.
You have to have pieces that you can move, and to me, this is the smartest franchise in the NBA the last 5 seasons. Mm-hmm. They reloaded, they retooled. This is something that's going to pay dividends within the next 3 years, obviously.
And hear me out on this. So there was a lot of buzz of people saying, "Oh, this team, they're not going to have Klay Thompson for the first 30 games next year. They could possibly miss the playoffs." Guys, with as smart and how good and well ran this franchise is, could you realistically see this team throwing D'Angelo Russell out there alongside Steph Curry, basically to limp them through the first 30 games of the season? As soon as Klay Thompson comes back, you move D'Angelo Russell because realistically you don't have a spot for 3 guards to be on the floor at one time. Move him for a little bit of depth and maybe another really good piece to put at the 3. That way Klay Thompson can go back to his original position. I mean, I realistically could see the D'Angelo Russell era for this team being very, very successful, where he's putting up phenomenal numbers, being as efficient as he ever has in his career, and then halfway through the season getting moved so this team can gear up for the playoffs, because they do have to wait for that 60 days. And instead of having to go through the trouble of going out and signing all these free agents and mixing and matching players, they can just put it in one lump sum, send it out to a team, bam, one team gets younger, the Golden State Warriors get a little bit older, but they get a little bit better and they get more depth.
See, I like where your head's at. Okay, I do think they will trade.
This is some 2K stuff. I really think this is like something you do on 2K.
I think they will trade D'Angelo Russell, but I do not think it'll be this season. I think they'll finish 1-3 D'Angelo Russell, and here's why. They don't have Kevin Durant anymore. They don't have Andre Iguodala anymore. I
mean, what is Andre Iguodala going to be next year?
Well, it doesn't matter. He's going to be a wing player next year. I guarantee that. They don't have one of those. So we all agree that Russell can play really, really good for this team, because that's the way shit works for them.
He's going to put up numbers. Absolutely.
Exactly. He played great. They're going to get Klay Thompson back. That's just going to make him more open for more shots. Go through one playoffs. We'll see how it happens. And then next offseason, after Russell puts up this fucking great 26-6 year for the whole season, move him somewhere else.
Well, absolutely. And then let's not even move past the obvious possibility that D'Angelo Russell could work with this team.
Yeah.
And you have 2 small guards, and you have Klay Thompson, who's 6'7", playing the small forward, and you have Draymond Green. That's 4 All-Stars right there.
Yeah, Thompson is 6'7", too. It's not like he's 6'4".
Yeah, this is a win-win situation to me. For people that are downing it, I don't even understand. You have to have assets in this league. You have to have young assets, and you have to always be changing. And this league is getting smaller and smaller as the positions go. Positionless basketball, this just makes sense to me.
You have to be crazy to think that this wouldn't work. I would have liked this move a year ago before we realized D'Angelo Russell was this phenomenal player, because you realize that there is potential in this guy. The potential was untapped last year. We're going to see it moving forward, and this Warriors team will be fun to watch.
And Layden, you said it the best. Don't doubt the Warriors been the best franchise in 5 years.
Yeah.
Last 5 years. Just don't doubt them. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, they know what they're doing.
And they're also making a look forward to next year, too, because now, at this moment in time, the biggest story for next offseason is, will they pay will they pay Draymond Green, or will they trade D'Angelo Russell?
Yeah.
That's what it's going to be.
They'll kill 2 birds with one stone.
Trade them both?
No, they'll pay Draymond Green, then they'll trade D'Angelo Russell. So we can't mention all these point guards without mentioning Kemba Walker signs to be the next point guard to benefit from the Brad Stevens well-documented system. That one was for you, Fletcher. What do you guys think about this team, the Celtics, with Kemba Walker? Do you think that this team has the potential to be better than last year, even though they lost Al Horford? Will Kemba Walker work out there?
No. I do think they will have success, but a little bit less. Maybe the same success last year, but I think they'll be a worse team. Over the past 3 seasons, so basically since Kyrie's been in Boston, 4 point guards have averaged 23 points, 5.5 assists, and fewer than 3 turnovers a game. There's Steph Curry, Damian Lillard, Kyrie Irving, and Kemba Walker. Probably 4 top 5 point guards in the NBA. Kyrie Irving was better than Kyrie at all those stats. The difference is Kemba just not a head case, or he's not a pain in the ass, or he is both of those things and has got hit in Charlotte his entire career. Lost Al Horford, who Brand said second ago is probably leader of the team now. Boston would be a good team again. That's a good coach, but I don't think this could be that successful for him.
Well, I mean, okay, so you're saying they might not be, because I mean they underperformed a ton last year, like absolutely underperformed. I mean they could completely repeat what they did last year.
I think they will.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I'll just clarify that for us.
Okay.
I like this for them though. I mean, before that Kemba Walker trade, which we didn't actually hear a lot about, and we heard Kemba Walker everywhere but probably Boston for a while. What was Boston thinking? They lost Kyrie. They lost Al Horford. They have $30 million tied up into Gordon Hayward, which we don't know what he's going to be, if he's ever going to be what he was.
No, he did start playing better at the end of last season.
He did, and there is a case to say that he's going to gain some of that, but is he going to gain that full athleticism back that put him a step above, that put him as an all-star? We don't know. And $30 million is a lot to put into some like a question. So what this does, though, this team has the potential to be still very, very good. Al Horford did lose a step last year. They could possibly find a replacement for him. You have Jaylen Brown. You have Jason Tatum that have to take the next step. You have Gordon Hayward. All three of those guys could be all-stars next year.
Yeah.
Kemba Walker could be an all-star.
I agree.
They all have the talent. What this team is a huge question mark. What is Kemba on a competing team? What is Gordon Hayward going to be? Can those two young forwards take a step? We don't know.
Yeah, this team right now is your middle. You're like ranked like 12 to 15 quarterback in the NFL. Like, you see the potential, and you just question, can it take the next step? Can it take the next step? And most times they don't. But you have Jaylen Brown, you have Jason Tatum, you have two guys just like you said. These guys are not going to get worse. I mean, they're third, fourth year players that will get better. Gordon Hayward will not come out as flat as what he did last year. Now, Kemba Walker, I think he's going to win this team games, and it's just going to be because of the fact that he's played on really, really bad teams. And it's not like Kemba. You can't sit here and say Kemba Walker's not a winner. He won an NCAA championship by himself. So the guy obviously knows how to win games. He's just been in a franchise that we've never seen have success before, ran by a guy who we've never seen have success as an upper management guy. So I think Kemba jumps into the best possible situation for himself. I think all three of the other pieces to this will take a step forward. It just depends on how much that step forward is. I think we're looking at a team that's going to win around 50 games and has a potential to be the team that comes out of the East. It's just going to determine how all these pieces fit together.
Absolutely.
And I think this team's interesting. I think it's going to be a fun team to watch.
I had to think about Enes Kanter taking over. It's Enes Kanter being there in general.
Oh,
I like it.
there?
Yep.
Then I love that.
I love
That's
that.
nice.
I think that team is flirting with the best starting five in the East.
The only issue that I see is their defense down low.
Yes.
Obviously, Cantor, and then they're going to be playing three small forwards.
That's just understood
Yeah.
with Cantor. So, guys, 76ers, they obviously got Al Horford, were able to get Tobias Harris back, and they were able to make a sign and trade and acquire Josh Richardson. The 76ers, obviously, they're going to be the biggest team in the East, maybe the biggest team in the NBA. They have three.
Literally.
Yes, literally.
Yes, literally. It will be.
I think everybody in the starting rotation is like 6'7" or tall, 6'6" or taller. So, guys, what do you think about this team? Did the moves that they made make them better than the 11 games we saw with their big-time starting five last season?
You're going to give it.
It's all on you,
This
B-Rag.
one's all on
Thank
you.
you.
This is on you,
This
B-Rag.
is yours.
And this one I've gone back and forth with quite a bit.
Because you hate it deep down.
The reason I hate it deep down, it's not sexy.
Yeah, Al Horford. It's the opposite of sexy.
It's the literal, the big mediocre.
31-year-old center.
31-year-old center. What this did, it made this team long. It made this team, I think, the best defensive starting five in the NBA, and that's not even a question. What I don't like is I've never been a big Tobias Harris fan. Never have. He's got the skills. He can shoot.
Oh, I'm
He's
sorry.
big.
Horford will be 33 next year.
Yeah, I thought that was a little young and a
Big
little young
mediocre.
for a while.
I think
He's been the big mediocre for like 15 years.
yeah, I think I'm optimistic for you.
Yeah, but the things that I don't like is that I saw this team's potential with the starting five they had last year when J.J. Redick was healthy, when they were all healthy and they were all firing. That team was the same team that would beat the Raptors by 30.
Yeah.
But it didn't work last year. Jimmy Butler wasn't getting any younger. So I do like this pick. I do like it. I think it makes them better. I think it makes them well-rounded. The question marks we have now, though, who's taking the big shots when it's not Joel Embiid? Because, as we know, you're going to have a wing take a big shot here and there. And is Ben Simmons going to be able to make even a freaking free throw next season? Those are the questions we're going to have to ask ourselves.
I think this move definitely makes them a regular season juggernaut. Because we saw the Nuggets with just the weird way that they played during the regular season, playing basically from the inside out with Big, basically running the show. It makes them a tough matchup. Hey, we're playing in Toronto today. We're going to be playing in Philly in 2 days. We have no time to game plan for this. Yeah. It's going to make them a juggernaut just because they have so many bigs that they can go out there and use. Also, the fact that Al Horford's 33 years old, I'm really not that concerned about it because, in my opinion, I would rather pay an Al Horford who's 33 years old, who relies on athleticism 0% of the time, like we saw with Tim Duncan, who is still having success in the NBA at 37, just because he's that crafty of a basketball player and doesn't use athleticism to beat you to death. You go out and you pay a guy like Jimmy Butler, who's 30 and has only played, 70 games in a season, one time in the last 6 years, a guy who relies heavily on athleticism. I would rather make the move for the bigger guy who doesn't have to use that, and it kind of gives you an insurance policy on Joel Embiid to where, hey, we've seen a team who was led by a guy who played 60 games in the regular season and won a championship. If they follow that strategic pattern where, hey, Joel Embiid, he might play 55 games, but we can guarantee health in the postseason. I absolutely love this move from the 76ers, and I, in fact, think that it makes this team better.
I actually think that it's underrated with the Josh Richardson signing, though. I think people don't realize how good of a defensive player is. He's actually a better three-point shooter than Jimmy Butler is, and he definitely doesn't need the ball in his hand like Jimmy does to create a shot.
No.
So, I understand. I like the move for him. It's a fine move. But I think the 76ers definitely 1,000% panicked on this when signing him to a 4-year, $100 million contract. His
97.
stats, was it 97 with $12 million
with
bonus?
Possible incentives.
Okay,
possible incentives.
Got to make that right, folks.
His stats have gone down every single season since he's joined Boston. I understand that analytically wise, whatever, he's a great player, but
efficient.
Very efficient, good player. But whenever Philadelphia saw that the Heat were going to get Jimmy Butler, not them, somebody in that room said, fuck, what's plan B?
Yep.
Well, we got Tobias. Like, okay, we're close now. What can we do? We have all this money. Virginia Vec, he's gone. Shit. Well, Al Horford's there. Will he come? That's what happened. I do not like the move for 76ers. I'll like it next year. I will absolutely hate this move for the last year of this deal because of Embiid's injuries, lack of shooting, lack of money now to acquire shooting, because shooting is expensive.
Not always.
People pay for shooting right now. Yeah,
good shooter. I mean, good overall players.
People overpay for shooting.
Yeah, people overpay for shooting. Taylor Ross got paid $54 million. He shoots for 3 or 4%.
Yeah. No,
But I think you're underrating that Tobias Harris is close to a 40% three-point shooter.
No, Tobias Harris is a phenomenal three-point shooter.
Tobias Harris is a nice player.
Josh Richardson's a 38% three-point shooter.
Yeah, no, very nice player. Tobias Harris is a nice player.
Joel Embiid, Al Horford, both can shoot the three.
But we just started talking about, hey, not a big Tobias Harris fan. We all know Joel Embiid's not going to get any healthier. Ben Simmons can't shoot.
But the reason why they brought in Al Horford, I 100% believe that it's solely to keep Joel Embiid healthy.
No, they brought on Al Horford so they could show the fan that they were doing something. Because they would have got Tobias Harris and then they just had $20 million to sit on to sign fucking Patrick Beverley.
Well, let's also...
Who would have been better signing, honestly, than Al Horford?
No.
I would disagree with that completely.
No. If you can't sign Beverley and like 3 of the guys, yeah.
No, it's not, and this is the reason why. Did you watch 76ers play last year?
Yes, Ben.
Did you realize what, other than Ben Simmons shooting towards the end, do you know what their biggest flaw was?
Depth. Because
traded off post player. Do you know what their plus minus was when Joel Embiid was not on the floor?
What would it be like?
I don't know the exact number, but it was pretty awful. It was Joel Embiid almost had to play every single minute.
Why were they all out of?
Didn't Joel Embiid set an NBA record for like plus minus for a center in like NBA history?
I don't know if it was a record, but I don't think. I think you.
No, Joel Embiid.
Anytime Boban played that wasn't against the Nets, who were undersized, you had Greg Monroe, who could not play anymore. This team struggled so hard, and you already just said Joel Embiid,
MVP candidate last year.
Is Embiid? Yes, but he's getting injured.
Yes.
He gets injured often.
Yeah.
So why are you going to put 35 minutes on that guy's knees and his shoulders just to sit
And
there.
it's not like there was a ton of bigs that you could go out and just like throw money
And
at.
absolutely one thing that Al Horford's going to bring, yes, maybe the last 2 years of that contract, that's going to suck. But Al Horford's efficient. Al Horford is not going to put you at a negative plus minus every single time he's on the floor. And another thing is, and this is kind of funny, Joel Embiid never played well against Al Horford. And now that's not a problem.
That's not a problem.
Literally will never be a problem.
And one thing that kind of gets overlooked here, everybody talks about the fact that, the last 2 years of this guy's deal are going to be absolutely horrible. Guys, it's the NBA, where people trade for bad contracts with a year or two left just to be able to buy out from it and get another bad contract off the books. It's even longer.
Is Chris Paul been traded so quickly?
And then just tank out. Well, I mean, honestly, you've seen it time and time again, though, with guys like Dwight Howard. He was moved. Like, players get moved because bad teams want those guys on their teams just so they can tank. They'll throw some money at a guy, waive him, and get him out the door. But I'll stay on the fact that I think Al Horford will be a contributing piece to this team throughout all 4 seasons.
And you're right when you say this wasn't plan A. But what good franchises have to do is have a plan B, and this is a pretty damn good plan B.
I think this is better.
It's not
than
plan A. It's not plan A.
This is
not
better.
plan A.
This is better than re-signing Jimmy Butler. I'll promise you that. Because
I disagree with that so much.
I disagree with that, but you know what? This is a pretty solid plan B, and I definitely...
This is about the best plan B or plan C they could probably figure up with.
Exactly, and you know what? And we'll probably get to it, but you know who didn't have a plan B?
The Clippers and Knicks and...
Yeah,
and now
they
look at
did.
them.
Yeah. Several teams right now don't
We'll
have
get
a
to
plan
that plan B here in a minute.
There's several teams that have plan Bs.
So, guys, the Heat obviously got Jimmy Butler and all this. Does this move the needle for the Heat? Are they a playoff team now?
I mean, they were one game away. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
They traded the entire team except for go on him and Winslow.
Yeah.
And how crazy Jimmy Butler is.
He's not going to be happy there.
No, he's not. Like, Jimmy Butler is just a much better Justice Winslow. They don't fucking look the same. Now there are two of them.
Same hair.
That's people. I don't know. I don't understand what he was doing.
No, nobody does. I think this
Maybe
is
Jimmy
going to be a
just really
disaster.
likes South Beach.
This is a
retirement plan.
This is a retirement plan.
This is Pat Lowry's pride catching up to him.
So
Yeah, no more needs to be said about that.
also said with the Heat, they sent Hassan Whiteside to the Blazers. That's pretty underrated.
For the Blazers, right?
Yeah.
Yes, for the Blazers, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, and the fact that it's great for Hassan Whiteside's whole career because he didn't get to play for the Heat.
Yeah.
For some reason. We still don't know why.
And then whenever one of their other bigs would sit out, he would come in and have to, he'd get a spot start, end up having 20 points, 18 rebounds, and then back to the bench. It was kind of like Enes Kanter whenever he was playing for the Knicks. Go out there, drop a double-double, and then the next day
Just
get a
put
DNP.
that name out there, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So, guys, next up we have the Pacers. So the Pacers, they did that little sign-and-trade maneuver, which basically half the NBA did this offseason. They brought in Malcolm Brogdon, Jeremy Lamb. Does this make the Pacers a potential favorite in the East? Can this team win the East? Does it make it better than what they were last year?
So, you and Fletcher are a big Pacers fan, so I know all about how good Bojan Bogdanovic was. Losing him and losing Darren Collison, bringing back Malcolm Brogdon, I'm not sure that makes the Pacers better. I don't think it makes them a whole lot worse. I think they'll be about the same, same level of goodness, I guess, they were last season. I would love to see them bring back Bogdanovic and just try to get another point and go like Patrick Beverly or somebody there. But
Beverly must make a lot of teams better.
That's always Layton's go-to
That's
over
Layton's
here.
go-to.
Patrick
Layton loves Patrick Beverly.
Patrick Beverly
Baby.
shoots, plays defense, doesn't care about scoring,
Does he
doesn't
shoot
come.
that well?
I'll look it up. He used to for sure. Played good
He used to
defense.
be on 2K at one point, huh?
Plays good defense. Plays good defense. Doesn't bitch. Fuck. Who
I found out that Layton likes gritty mofos.
I love this.
podcast.
I love these moves for the Pacers.
Oh no, I like the moves.
Go
I
ahead,
like
let me see if I disagree with anything you say. This is
Okay, Bailey can shoot. Past his career, 375, 361, 356, then 400, 382, 400,
okay.
397.
Good.
400 must have been with the Rockets.
Clippers.
Wow, that's surprising.
Well, one Rockets, one Clippers.
Okay, so I actually like this move for the Pacers. It makes a lot of sense to get a guy like Malcolm Brogdon, where you already have one phenomenal perimeter defender, and you kind of go with against the grain of the NBA, where everybody just wants one lockdown perimeter defender. Well, now you have two. You have Victor Oladipo, you have Malcolm Brogdon, you have heads and shoulders by far the best defensive backcourt in the NBA with those two. Brogdon brings in something that a lot of point guards don't have, and that's a sense of awareness of when and when not to shoot. The guy shot 50% from the field last year, and he scored 15 points per game while only playing 28 minutes per game. So he shot 50 from the field, 40 from the three, and then 90 from the free throw strike. So the guy is an efficient player when he's out there playing. Bad thing is, we haven't seen him play over 30 minutes a game for extended stretches. So you take a 15-point per game scorer who plays 28 minutes per game, and then you add in Jeremy Lamb, who adds another element in here. Obviously, we lost Bogdanovich, but you get another guy that can score the basketball, and he scored 15 minutes per game in 28 minutes, just like Malcolm Brogdon did. So you bring in two guys who are efficient, who can score quick whenever they come into the games, who neither one of them have been starters. Well, Jeremy Lamb was for the last part of the stretch with the Hornets, but everybody got to start for the Hornets. So he's going to be coming off the bench there. You get some good bench scoring with Jeremy Lamb. I think Malcolm Brogdon is one of those guys that has the potential to be that point guard this year where we're like, well, he kind of came out of nowhere. He's scoring 20 points per game now. He's and it's not like he did this on the Hornets. It's not like he scored 15 points per game on the Hornets. He was on the Bucks, who was the best team for all the regular season last year. I definitely like this move defensively and efficiently for the Pacers.
Getting TJ Warren does really. I forget TJ Warren.
I forget about TJ Warren.
Yeah, TJ Warren, obviously.
That's another.
I want to say what I said earlier. I forgot about him.
Yeah, and the cool thing
that makes it a lot better. Without TJ Warren, I was kind of worried what they were going to do at the 3 spot, but Warren shoots okay, layups forever, great.
Yeah. Well,
I just don't think this team changed anything from last year. Which, when Victor Oladipo's healthy, they are a dangerous team, but I don't think they're an NBA championship team. They're going to compete in the regular season. They probably will win a playoff series. That's what I see their max at, because you lose Tyreek Evans, put up 10 points a game. You got TJ Warren probably going to be doing that this year. You lose Bogdanovich, you got another guy. I just feel like they didn't lose this offseason as bad as they could have. But, another probably 3-4 seed for the Pacers, which, honestly, they just keep on reloading and not really being able to get any big free agents. They're doing pretty well with that.
No, that's
not being able to do free agents.
That's what the Pacers do.
They are a Midwest gritty team. Gotta respect that,
Even in the free agency, dude, nothing comes easy for the Pacers.
Oh, no.
You watch them play, they won't score for 10 minutes. You watch them in free agency, they have to sign and trade for guys. They can't even just pick guys up off the wire.
Yeah.
They have to sign and trade.
And when you saw how much they struggled down the stretch without Victor Oladipo, they can't develop their own shot.
No, it was bad.
Yeah.
Brogdon can help do that. I really like what they did here. So, guys, Milwaukee, like I said earlier, they obviously lost Brogdon, but they were able to retain Brook Lopez and Chris Middleton. Were these the two most important pieces for this team?
Oh, yes, 1,000%, absolutely. They had to bring him back and run a chance to win again next year. That being said, I think they will rue the day they gave Chris Middleton that $177 million contract.
What are you going to do, though?
I know. You got to bring him back.
They have
you have to get him.
$200 million locked up in Brook Lopez.
Yeah, you got to get those guys back, but shit.
It's a steep price to pay.
That's going in. And he lost Malcolm Brogdon. Also hurts.
That does hurt.
Absolutely. I almost would have passed up, if it was possible to make this work, I almost would have passed up on Lopez to bring back Brogdon.
See, I don't know if you can do that, though. Because they have to have that big that can stretch the floor to allow Giannis to be what Giannis is. Yeah,
Brook Lopez.
No one's talking about
we found out that Brook Lopez was an absolute shot blocker last year.
77 games with a block. How fucking nuts is that?
That's just because everybody's worried about Giannis blocking their shot.
But on the real, the Bucks had to make these moves. You can complain about the money that they gave to Middleton, but it was like the 76ers. They had to give the money to Tobias Harris. They had to give it to somebody. You have to trust that this player will progress. If not, then, eventually you have to put a little risk out there to try to get a reward, and that's what they did, and I think they made the most logical move here.
No, I 100% agree. So maybe the funniest part of free agency, guys, the Knicks, they...
Swing and a miss!
They were not willing to give Kevin Durant the max. Thoughts?
Okay. I understand it. I do. They've been burned past by... Think about the history of the Knicks. They signed Morris Stoudemire. He was injured to a humongous contract. Fucked him for years. Then they decided to double up on that with Carmelo Anthony. ultimate contract. They knew he was going to decline.
That was the last time they made the playoffs. You have to make those moves.
And how did that work out for him?
They still made the
long
playoffs.
run.
You have to make
Yes,
these moves.
but now you have Kevin Durant, who he just got done talking about. People think, apparently himself thinks, couldn't be like inside information, that he might not be the same player he is next season. If you're the Knicks and you already go through too much turmoil all the fucking time, do you want to do this?
Yes.
Yes.
Like, I would.
Yes.
No, I 1,000% would. I think they should have done it. But I can make the argument to why they should not have.
So here's my
You're
here's
entering
my
the
problem
mind
with
of
it.
James Dolan, which is a scary place to get.
I'm terrified right
So
now.
here's another problem. Who did they just lose out to? I feel like that's really underrated.
Oh,
Who
no,
they just lost out to.
the Nets. The
And
Bats are
everybody
still- yeah.
tries to talk about, and I do not get this big market Laker Knicks thing. That's not a thing.
No.
This isn't 20
No.
years ago. This isn't a thing. That's not what you need.
The Mecca. They play at the Mecca.
They play
You
at
have to-
Madison Square Garden, boys and girls.
Did you guys know that even if you're a player on the Knicks, you have to park across the street at the Madison Square Garden?
They still gotta do that?
Yeah.
I heard that a long
They
time
might.
ago.
They
I
still do.
assume that they just fucking fixed it. Like,
Nope. You
hey,
still
here's
park
part
across the
parking
street.
garage.
Yep.
Connected to the building over the highway.
And let's
Yeah,
not
the
like
Mecca.
let's not say yes, cool place to play. But when was the last time they were substantially good? That one year when they had Carmelo Anthony and the boys. Like, you have to make splashes. And what have we found out? When you get a player, other players will come. Is Anthony Davis going to the Lakers if LeBron's not there?
He didn't have a choice. He got traded there.
They still have. I like how
He
you
was
think
gonna
in
be there no matter
2019 that these guys don't have any choice at all, and that they absolutely do. If he didn't want to be there, they would not have traded for him.
No, and the
Absolutely would not have traded all their assets away if they didn't think that they'd retain him because he wants to be there. They
Yeah.
all talk. They all know. Absolutely. And
Have you signed yet, be like?
No.
Pen to paper, baby. Pen to paper.
pen to paper.
Talk to me then.
Yeah.
bad argument.
Yeah.
The Knicks have been in 2 NBA finals in the last 45 years. In the last 45 years, the Knicks have been in the NBA Finals twice, and everybody talks about how this team is, they're so historic. They have all this great stuff going for them. Guys, this team was good in the 70s, and the only people that believe that this team is so historic, so great, is the people that grew up right in the middle of the 70s.
Yeah.
This is the same stuff that people, like, we don't sit here and talk about how the Bulls are a destination anymore. Guys, the Bulls being a destination for free agency went out in that big class where Carmelo Anthony and LeBron were signing places that weren't with the Bulls. So can we kill this narrative
Yeah.
of this being a destination spot for free agents?
No,
the
honestly-
biggest free agent signing in the last 20 years has been Amari Stoudemire.
Yeah, no.
Amari Stoudemire.
You know, honestly, the Mets have more success recently than the Knicks do.
Oh, yeah.
And don't talk about the Mets being with a show, any kind of destination.
Oh, absolutely. That's a really that cross sport. That's a really good. That actually is
Yeah.
a really good little thing there. But
I-
and let's not even think they got rid of Kristaps for a reason.
Yeah.
So this is a team who did not have a plan B.
No.
They didn't expect KD to get hurt. Nobody did. You can't.
Well,
But they
it's
put
all
all
over.
their eggs in a basket
They
that they were
started-
going to get Zion.
They
Yes,
didn't think
exactly.
that they would win 17 games and not get Zion.
Yeah.
They trade Kristaps. They think they're going to get KD. I saw it all over Knicks Twitter. They had this all set. And what do they end up with?
Julius Randle.
Not a bad player.
No.
But is he top 3? And yes, they did give Amari Stoudemire, who was hurt, a big contract. But Amari Stoudemire, KD, not in the same realm.
No.
You just do it. Because what happens is we see with people like Kyrie and DeAndre Jordan, like these type of players that they're just going to come.
Yep.
They're going to come.
How many times have you guys been criticized for doing the wrong thing even though you went all out at it? Probably
Never.
very seldom.
Because
If
at least
ever.
you can say, hey,
At least I tried.
They tried. And now, James, now we can all criticize the Knicks again for another, like what? Next year's class is Oladipo. So like 2 or 3 years now we can just talk about how the Knicks fucked this up.
yeah. Hey, at least they gave away their best asset.
Yeah, no, this will all plan out just for them to be the only team competing with the Pacers just to get Oladipo.
Yeah.
Like, I will sit here and laugh at the Knicks all day, and all these pieces fall perfectly in place just for them to get Oladipo.
Well, I mean, why would Oladipo
Pacers.
not? He could go play at the Mecca.
He could play at the Mecca every day, park across the street,
But
take
yeah-
an elevator up so he could walk across the skywalk.
But guys, we're missing the real humor in what the Knicks did. Who the Knicks signed?
Taj Gibson.
Who they signed? Julius Randle.
And
Yeah.
Taj Gibson.
It's Julius Randle. Remember whenever Kansas said last week that Zion Williamson was just Julius Randle with hops?
Yeah.
They couldn't get the little Zion with hops, so they got him without
Ooh.
hops.
And you know what the funny
They
part
saw
is?
that quote and they were like, yes.
We need that guy. They go to LA with him.
The best part is that Enes Kanter couldn't even sniff the starting rotation on that team. Like, he went like 20 games without playing.
He a nuisance.
Hey, and guess what? Julius Randle just got $20 million from that team.
Yep. I put 45
Kanter
on
likes
Kanter.
to talk shit.
Oh, he loves it.
I like it a little bit.
I do
He
too.
talks shit with his president.
Oh, yeah.
He ain't afraid to talk shit.
That'll get you in trouble sometimes. So, guys, the Pelicans, they obviously got Julius Randle with hops and Zion Williamson, but also they went out and they were able to trade for Derek Favors, and they were able to sign J.J. Redick. What do you guys think about this Pelicans team? Have they put enough around this young core that they brought in through the draft, through trades, to potentially be a playoff team?
I think they could fill with the AC in the playoffs. If Zion performs like up to his rookie standard, with probably like, I don't know, 19-10, whatever you think rookie standard might be. If you can do that, as long as the ball can stay healthy, Ingram can do what he did for the last 20, 30 games last year for like 70 games this year. I think they could be like the 9th best team in the West, maybe in the 7th or 8th.
I do too.
I think it's 7 through 9. I mean,
Getting Redick's huge.
getting
Yeah.
ready.
Like he's a legitimate good shooter. Like he can shoot.
He honestly, in this bold statement,
Philly fan right here. If I can drop
he
some
might
knowledge.
be the best pure shooter
Yeah.
in the league.
Yeah.
Better than Steph Curry.
Yeah, no, he's good.
Because the difference with that, Steph Curry dribbles around and
And creates his
does
own
he creates his own shot and does crazy things. JJ Redick just comes around 1,000 screens and floats around and
JJ Redick like Klay Thompson, just not Klay Thompson.
I mean, JJ Redick at what age is he now? Averaged 18 points last season, and all he shoots is threes.
I mean, he has to be 30.
Oh, he's well
He's
past 30.
well past 30, probably 32,
I think
33.
this is his 14th
Well,
season in the league.
I think adding JJ Redick gives you a dimension of offense that you can use whenever you have Lonzo Ball on the floor. So Lonzo obviously really can't stretch the floor. He did in college. We haven't seen
He'll
him
be
yet in the
35 next
NBA.
year.
Wow.
And you put a shooter around him, you put a shooter around Zion, you put a shooter around Derek Favors. You have a lot of guys that can score, not necessarily from the 3-point line.
Yeah.
Well, now you have JJ Redick, who should never on this team step inside the 3-point line.
No.
Oh, no. So, I mean, yeah, they did. I don't know if you said it. They got Derek Favors. They got JJ Redick. It's a nice team, but over JJ Redick's 2-year contract, which great for him for getting a 2-year finally, but they're not going to be anything as far as competing because
No,
Zion's
they'll
going
be
to take
7-9.
years, Lonzo's going to take years, Ingram's going to take years. They got more draft picks, but at least put a little excitement after losing
Yeah.
AD and being an absolute laughing stock at the trade deadline.
This is definitely like the NBA League Pass winner right now.
Absolutely.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna have they're gonna they might be one of the most watched teams this year. They're gonna be on TV a lot, I guarantee it. Guys, the Jazz. Not only did they get Mike Conley last week, they kind of got the diamond in the rough that we talked about with Bojan Bogdanovic. Obviously, they lost Derek Favors. Does Bogdanovic? I know this is weird to say, but I just know what kind of player Bogdanovic is. Does this put this team? We talked about Mike Conley putting him over the hump. Does this officially put them over the hump to where we say, okay, in the West, we see two teams that are significantly better than the rest, and one are the Jazz. Do you guys think that puts them in that perspective?
So I'm going to go cross sport again real quick. Do you remember back when the Orioles were like actually worth this shit and every year they did the projection by like 12 games or something? They have the Jazz like every year, it seems like.
Yes,
Like, every year the Jazz, like, in fact, they're not going to be a 1 seed or 2 seed, but they're going to be a 4 or 5 seed every single year. And now they've got two players that can make them actually be maybe a 1 or a 2 seed and then actually get through the trek of the playoffs in the NBA finals. Right now, I'm one of my favorites, but I wouldn't be shocked at all.
I think people are hyping up the Jazz way too much, personally.
You do.
Absolutely. So, what were they last year? I mean, so they lose Derek Favors, they lose Ricky Rubio, they replace this with Bogdanovic and Mike Conley.
Yes.
That's an improvement. But this team's not even a team that we really even thought last season's winning a playoff series. This is, I mean, that's a far, I know the West is going to be weaker, but that's a far cry from where we could see them absolutely being the favorite in the West. I think we need to slow it down a little bit on the favorite of the West. Yeah, this team even looks together because what did Mike Conley do in Memphis? I mean, Was he's only been a couple of even All-Stars. He's
He's
the
never
second
been
best
an
player
All-Star?
in Memphis. Never even been one, huh?
Well,
No.
this,
If he wasn't in the Western Conference, he'd have been
Yeah.
an All-Star
Yeah,
several
yeah.
times.
yeah, but I mean, yeah.
this is like the peak point guard time ever in one.
Yeah.
Last year was actually he
he had
set
a good
career
season
high
last year.
career points per game. It's just best season of his career last year.
Yeah. Well, and Memphis was terrible. That probably boosted his stats a little
Yeah.
bit. But yes.
Every bad team has a best player.
yeah.
Oh, guy, he's a lefty. Lock him in.
Yes, he's a lefty. What I'm saying is, I do like them. They did get better. I think they made some smart moves for the Jazz. But as far as just saying they're head and shoulders above the rest, I just don't see it.
I don't think head and shoulders.
I don't even see
I
them
think-
as a lock to be a top 3 seed.
I think right now, where everything sits without quite shining anywhere, that they are top 3 in the Western Conference.
I do too.
I don't see how you keep them out of that.
And
honestly.
here's why I like it, because now not only did you add a great shooter in Bogdanovich, but you also have 3 guys that are elite defenders at their position. And we saw it last year in the NBA championship in the run that the Raptors went on. If you have a lockdown defender at almost every single position that you're putting out there, you can make some really nasty 90s to 80s games and make your way to the NBA championship. You have Mike Conley, who's a phenomenal perimeter defender. You have Bogdanovich, who is a very, very, very underrated defender, playing for the Pacers with that grinded-out style basketball. And you have Rudy Gobert, who, in all accounts, is the best player in the NBA on the defensive side of the ball for the last 2 years. So I do like this move, and I haven't even hit on the fact that you have Donovan Mitchell, who, guys, last year was his second year in the league. Like, this guy is going to get better. I think that whenever you look at the pecking order in the West, the Jazz have to be in that tier 1A with all the uncertainty that we have amongst these teams. I'm going to say amongst because I feel like there's still uncertainty with the Jazz here. But I think that it puts them up there to be a team to beat in the West. And especially with a team like the Jazz, who have a really good home court advantage, whether you hate the fans or not, they're probably not the best people in the world. But if they get the home court advantage in the playoffs, this is going to be a scary team with as good as they play defensively.
It is, but you have the Blazers getting better, you have the Rockets getting better, you still have the Warriors.
Rockets
being
not
the
getting
Warriors.
better.
Well, not getting better, I'm sorry. Rockets being the same.
Stagnant.
Sorry, yes.
Stagnant.
Good.
Maybe a little bit worse, but you still have James Harden and how he is during the regular season.
Yeah.
We know that. I'm just saying, just put him as locked as a 3 seed. I don't know it.
I don't know. I think this team will be gritty defensively. They have enough three-point shooting. I think this is going to be a team that could possibly end up the 1 seed in the West right now. So, guys, we got 2 more things to talk about here real quick. Ricky Rubio to the Suns. They got themselves a point guard.
The
Yep.
best option they could have gotten.
Yes,
Yep.
No,
Patrick,
whoa, Patrick Beverly.
about
he was available.
He was better than Ricky
he
Rubio.
would have been cheaper.
I just said,
That would have been a better option. He's
I just
cheaper.
had to add that one in there.
He would have been better. I know, but they should have. They could have got Kobe White. That been the best choice probably, but that didn't happen. They got one still. They got Shark. Could be a really weird looking team next year with Ayton, Booker, and Shark, and they're not there.
Let's
Yeah.
see if it shows some potential.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now the Suns have not shit going for them, so they gotta do something.
30 wins for the Suns. We'll book them down. So, guys, last up, Kawhi Leonard still unsigned. I mean, really, it's a guessing game right now. Toronto is the substantial favorite in Vegas to land Kawhi. Where will Kawhi be this time next week?
Lakers.
Lakers.
I'm going Raptors. I think he
Going
wants to
Raptors.
run it back.
So here's one thing, and just make it quick. When Raptors don't get Kawhi, what do you think the most logical thing to do is with the Raptors?
Panic.
I think it's
Panic time
unprecedented.
Print
This
more
is
championship
unprecedented.
shirts because you probably won't have one in a long
Yeah.
time.
But I
That-
think you have to rebuild. Instantly blow it up.
You might have to, yeah. But right now we have 3 teams. One team, the Lakers, cannot rebuild. They will not. They can't do that. But right now we have 3 teams who are just saying there with no plan B. Clippers, Lakers, and Raptors.
Who really haven't signed anybody?
And they've sat out and they've missed Redick and Beverly and Cantor.
I mean, they don't even have role players left.
Yeah, there's
Like
nobody.
Rodney Hood signed. I mean,
Like-
you have nobody.
Like right now, the Clippers are the best spot because they have all these young. Like they have players basically. They can fill 2 teams.
Yeah.
Having the Clippers.
the Lakers
be really interesting to
The
see.
Lakers might not be able to fill out a squad.
No,
Legitimately might not.
they have 3 guys on their team right now.
Yeah. Hey, LA, call me. I've had time for vet minimum.
Yeah, I think that Kawhi's just playing this waiting game just so the Lakers don't sign anybody, and then he just re-signs with the Raptors and basically just puts the Lakers to
We'll
shambles.
take that to the next level. I don't know any of your thoughts here, but next level. The Clippers asked Kawhi, hold off on signing with us. Since the fuck the Lakers over. Next week, come talk to us.
Jimmer Fredette will be on the Lakers next year.
Him and Kyle Kuzma. Book it.
Ooh,
They're gonna have to.
available.
They're gonna have to fill out a roster.
Yep. Drake, any more thoughts for us?
Yes, I do.
It was all a dream. I used to read Word Up magazine.
It started by drafting every quality big in the draft, and it ended by signing every quality big in free agency pool. The process has come full circle. Kevin Durant, natural born follower. James Dolan, the type of guy that would offer to take you to McDonald's and let you order off the dollar menu during McRib and Shamrock Shake time. Reason being, they've been out for a year and you can't trust their quality. D'Angelo Russell ruined one Iggy's relationship with Nick Young, ruined another Iggy relationship with the Warriors. Bobby Bonillo, making as much money this year as twice as Pete Alonso's salary. Pedro Strop thinks Yasiel Puig is stupid. Pedro Strop, the guy who hits Yasiel Puig with a ball and calls him stupid, may be the same. MJ only signs people who produce in the playoffs. MJ hasn't found a way to get into the playoffs. Golden State Warriors, last season with 5 NBA stars. Now they're rendered useless with 4. Kyrie Irving passes the blame to Kevin Durant, who passes the blame back to Kyrie, who passes the blame back to KD in the corner, who passes it down to DeAndre Jordan, who gets fouled and misses both free throws. And there's a new movie out this week. It's titled How to Parlay Zion, Kyrie, and KD into Julius Randle. And it was directed by James Dolan. And those have been my thoughts.
You ever met Dante Exum?
Oh, yeah.
He's in the Jazz still.
He's still on the Jazz.
This
We
should,
haven't even realized about his untapped.
this should be his 60th in the NBA.
Holy smoke.
He didn't play at all in 2015 and 2016, and he has played 200 games in the other 4 years.
Can we call him a bust? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, well bust. He would play what, top 4 pick?
All right, guys.
Fifth pick?
So we're gonna do a little. We're gonna call it NBA quick hits. It's gonna be word association, very similar to it. I'm gonna tell you a phrase or a word, and you guys tell me the player team combination that you think of whenever you hear this. Destined for mediocrity.
Jimmy Butler in the Heat.
Jimmy Butler in the Heat.
He's the only one, really.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler in the Heat, 100%.
Yeah.
Picking in the lottery.
I picked the Heat for that one, too.
I went ahead and went. Well, the Pelicans, which and the biggest signing was JJ Redick.
Thunder.
True.
Thunder.
You think Thunder?
They were 1 game removed from the 8 seed last year. You have all these teams that are getting better.
They're just figuring
Every
it out.
team that is above them is getting it has gotten better, except the Warriors and the Rockets, and they aren't catching them.
Mm-hmm.
And then every team below them has seemingly gotten better. You have the Mavericks who have gotten better. You have the Pelicans who have gotten better. You have teams that, and the Spurs aren't going to miss the playoffs. So I think the Thunder could be the team that's picking in the lottery just because they sat on their hands and basically didn't do anything with a team that's just going to be getting older and you're putting more minutes on.
I don't think they
Westbrook.
could have done anything, to be fair.
No, they couldn't.
Yeah.
They couldn't. And I can't blame them for that. But this is a team, I think they're going to be picking in the lottery next year. So, guys, maid of honor.
Julius Randle. Might be by New York, but Kevin Durant got paid a lot of money, like the 20th best free agent out there.
Well, I'm going to go with Jimmy Butler because for some reason he just always wants to be the bride, but he just never is and just gets pissed off all the time.
Very perplexed by this Jimmy Butler deal.
Wait, is Jimmy Butler Bridezilla?
He might be Bridezilla.
I think
but
he is.
He's Bridezilla that somehow has never been the bride. He's maid of honor Zilla.
Maid of honor Zilla.
Is the worst.
He's 27 dresses.
He's 27 dresses.
Great movie.
I'm going Kyrie. Always wants to be the best player, and he will definitely be the best player this year, but he's back to maid of honor after next season. Under the radar.
Malcolm Brogdon. I know I said a few minutes ago why I hated it for the Pacers, but because I lost Bojan, but this is going to be a really good team still. Like, I like this move a lot.
Yeah, I thought that's the way that you guys were going to go, but I actually think Kemba Walker, I think this was the move the Boston Celtics had to make, because otherwise Boston would go from possible NBA champion to nothing.
I actually really like both of those. I'm going Bojan Bogdanovic, 18 points per game, 50% from the field, 42% from three. He's played 78 or more games in every single season that he's played in the NBA. LOL.
The Knicks.
This is a layup.
It's just the Knicks.
Well, and honestly, I put... So, what were the names we had? KD, Kawhi, Julius Randle, Taj Gibson.
Taj Gibson.
Literally on the shows, on like ESPN and all them, Taj Gibson was brought up with the Knicks, and we thought we'd be hearing names KD, Kawhi, Zion. I mean,
I
you
love
got
this
Taj
move.
Gibson.
Yeah, Taj
OJ
Gibson.
Barrett.
Come on.
That
You know
would fall
he's one
through.
big.
That was a layup. The Knicks. I mean, for 3 seasons, we talked about this huge free agency class, how they're going to be the best. Guys, they had their best and most promising player that they've had since Patrick Ewing. And guess what happened? They traded him so they could open up money for this free agency. NBA champion.
The Lakers after Kawhi signs.
I gotta go with my boy 76ers.
I just put anywhere that Kawhi goes.
And that's pretty
So
fair.
it's Raptors or Lakers.
The Clippers. Not,
He's not going.
you don't think? I don't think you. I
No.
don't see it.
So, guys, it is time for us to do Be Right the Hot Take Detective. So, the way that this works is we're going to give Brandon, I'm going to give Brandon 2 takes. I'll give one, Leighton will give one, and then I will give the third. Brandon is going to try to tell us why we're wrong. I feel like these takes that we have today are actually pretty hot. So, Be Right. Let's get this rolling. Number 1, the Nets will not be a top 4 seed in the playoffs this year, no matter how the rest of this free agency pans out.
So you're just saying, is there a chance? Or are you just saying...
They're not. They won't be.
So I can definitely see that. What I think is going to happen is there's a top 3 hierarchy in the East, and that goes Milwaukee, it goes Philly, Toronto's still up in the air. If Toronto gets Kawhi, they're a lock for top 3. But then you have the whole mixture of you have the Pacers, you have Boston, and you have the Nets. And I think those are all very close. I think they'll be separated by a few games. So I could see them getting 4th. Hell, I could see them getting 7th possibly if things don't work out. But to say they have no chance of being the 4th, I don't see it because they upgraded at the center position. They upgraded at the point guard position. And hopefully Dinwiddie stays what he is. Karis LeVert's going to be coming back. I like the team. Obviously, this team is nothing without KD. But
Okay.
so tell me why you think this. You kind of hidden on it. Tell me why you're so confident.
I mean, Kyrie Irving being the big show, being the guy who shoots his team completely out of a playoff series. I don't think that they're going to be a top 4 seed. I think that they made a lot of moves, and they did a lot, but realistically, until KD comes back, this team, in my opinion, is nothing. You have 5 teams, in my opinion, that are still better than them. You still have the Celtics, you still have the Pacers. I think that those teams are kind of a lock to be better than them, because you're forgetting the Pacers. They still only missed the third spot last year by 3 games, and Victor Oladipo missed half the season. So I just think that there are 4 to 5 really, really good teams in the East, and until Kevin Durant comes back, I don't think that the Nets are one of them.
Well, all right.
Latency.
In 4 years, the Pelicans have a much brighter future than the Philadelphia 76ers.
I want to start off how crazy of a question this is because
Time
in
out.
4 years,
If we would have said 4 years ago that the Celtics had a better future than the Nets following that trade, we would have been wrong.
Yep.
yeah. Well, but here's my thing is what I was going to say. 4 years is a long time.
Yes.
76ers have their starting 5 signed up for 4 years.
That's why I said 4 years.
I know that's why you said 4 years. And really, at the end of the day, if they can't get it done in the next 4 years, that's their fault, the 76ers, and they have set themselves up to have 4 swings at this thing. Mm-hmm. If you can't get it done in 4 swings, then I mean,
It's just
honestly,
not gonna work.
it's just not going to work.
Yep.
But here's the thing that I want to say to Leighton. No matter what, they have 3 All-Stars. And they're going to have 3 All-Stars for a very, very long time.
For at least 4 years.
At least 4 years.
No, longer than that.
No, at least 4 years.
At
At
least
least
4
4 years. Tobias Harris, 5.
Embiid might not even be playing in 4 years. Might have no knees left.
Tobias Harris, 5 years.
Ben Simmons might move on.
He's going to be signed to a max this season.
What if he decided I don't want to play here anymore? Rich Paul move. Rich Paul
Well,
says...
these are a lot of what ifs. What if freaking Lonzo Ball just
it's a hot
decides
take.
to leave? I don't know.
It's a hot take.
Like,
it's all about what ifs.
What does it even matter at the end of 4 years? This team is set. This team is, for a lot of people, the favorite to win the East. So who cares? Who knows if the Suns won't look better? Who knows if the Hawks won't look better? At the end of the day, this team is set up for 4 years. They have contingency plans. They have at least their 3 All-Stars locked in for more than 5 seasons. And what the Pelicans have is a lot of hope. They have a lot of prayers. They have a lot of possibilities. At the end of the day, the 76ers have the proven talent. And it does not matter.
So you're saying no? I'm wrong?
It's going to matter what they do with their draft picks. But yes,
I'm wrong.
you're wrong.
I knew he was going to lose that one. I knew there's no way I was going to win a 76 argument.
You don't win 76er arguments. But
You're asking me who's going to have a better future in 4 years?
4 years.
Who, 2 teams who couldn't almost be polar opposites?
4+ years from now, he'll have a better future.
That's just an odd question because, like I said earlier, after the Kevin Durant or the Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce trade, you could have easily said, "Well, okay, yeah, the Nets are toast for the next 6 years," but then all of a sudden,
But somehow they made good moves.
Something like this happens, so I feel like it's almost too hard to project.
It is almost too hard to project, and I think it would be foolish for us to really project. I think all you can hope for is that
The Pelicans are where the 76ers were 3 years ago.
absolutely. And at that point, it was a lot of hope, a lot of prayers. You're hoping people develop. So yeah, the Pelicans have a lot of hope, but this team has their 5 starters in lock for 4 years, and that's more than almost any team can say.
Okay, last one. The Utah Jazz being 18-1 to win the NBA title is the single greatest bet you will find in 2019 in any sport.
So I was going to make a lot of arguments here, Drake, but I only have one for you.
What is it?
Do you know what the Bears' odds are to win the Super Bowl next year?
What is it?
20-1.
They're 21 now?
20-1.
Okay, so it's the second greatest bet in sports. The second greatest bet in sports. I didn't realize they must have fallen.
Yeah, they were. At least this is on the Vegas projections for next season. Had them at 20-1.
Wow.
So I think actually, and this might be a bold pick, but I actually really like the Blazers next year from coming out of the West, and they are 30-1 right now. So technically,
Wow.
is that right? 30-1. So I like them more just for the little moves they made and the fact that other teams are going to be getting worse. And I actually think we look back at that Warriors series against the Blazers, and the Blazers were in every single game and right up until the moment they were.
They actually led more minutes
Yes.
than the Warriors. Wow.
So I'm actually going to go with that's the better one, but I think almost any bet in the NBA right now that you get around that 20 range, take one of those because this is going to be, for the first time, an uncertainty in the West.
Yeah, no,
so
we
go
have-
ahead and take one because the Jazz could win it.
Yeah, we have a ton of parity.
So whichever one of those teams you like, go take one of those.
I absolutely agree there. So Leighton C was actually really excited about this game that we were going to play today. Pew, 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 pew. We're playing darts, baby. 4 darts. So each week we all throw a dart and we discuss the topic at hand. Leighton C, what is this game that you have hyped up for me?
We're staying on the hot takes with Hot Takes Dart Edition.
Okay.
So I have, let's see, 10 hot takes, all due to the NBA free agency.
When did you make those up? Like
Earlier,
moments ago?
like an hour or 2 ago.
Okay.
Yep, all due to free agency, all hot takes. It's been a good time.
Okay, so we will decide whether or not we agree or disagree with these takes.
Yep, and they're pretty hot.
Okay.
Oh, here we
They're
go.
hot.
So Leighton C, your game, your throw. We have a 4.
A 4. Jimmy Butler will win the MVP, now being the man in Miami.
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
No, I think he put up really good numbers, but I don't think he would be good enough for him to be considered.
So, and The thing with Jimmy Butler is he has those games where he completely puts you on your back. Like, similar to how Kawhi Leonard did, but Jimmy Butler only does that 1 out of every 5 games. Kawhi Leonard does it all 5 games. Jimmy Butler just isn't up to that last tier, but I would love to see him win the MVP.
Yes.
I love Jimmy Butler. For all the shit I talk about, and there are all the things that I don't understand about Jimmy Butler, he's one of my favorite basketball players in the NBA.
My favorite thing about Jimmy Butler is that he was on a team with the Timberwolves where everybody was checked out, didn't care because they didn't have a chance to win anything. So then he goes and plays with the 76ers, who have obviously a chance to win with him on the roster, and he sniffs that for like 30 games and then decides, you know what, that's not for me, man.
Yeah.
I'm going back. I'm going to South Beach where they're bad, and I can basically beat the third team. I can beat the starters with the third team.
Which, that might be all he's hoping for, because that literally is the best story I think I've ever heard. And if I could get a video of that, I'd pay big dollar just to see Jimmy Butler talking mad shit to Andrew Wiggins and Karl Anthony Towns, and with the third strings, hell, he might have had a janitor. Yes. I don't know. Jimmy Butler might have been the best basketball player in the world that one day.
So to win MVP, you have to play more than 70 games. He has done that one time in the last 6 seasons. Book it. Not going to win MVP.
Now, let me say, he could win the MVP if he played with that chip on his shoulder every single day.
Yeah.
Which, who knows? Maybe we'll tap into that potential.
Who knows?
All they need to do is just sign Tom Thibodeau to coach this team, and things will come back full circle for Jimmy Butler. So be right, your throw. And we have a 6.
A 6. When Klay Thompson returns next March or April, the Warriors will be NBA champion favorites.
Betting odds?
I mean, like, in your opinion.
In my
So
opinion.
I think they have as good as, if Klay Thompson comes back pretty close to what we see Klay Thompson being, I think they have a good as chance as any team in the West to win the NBA championship. I don't think that's really a question, because right now we're really saying the Blazers and the Jazz are 2 of the better teams in the West. So to say that the Warriors wouldn't be with 4 All-Stars, I think would be kind of foolish.
Yep, yeah. I agree. I think when Klay Thompson comes back, you can actually look at him and say, yeah, the NBA championship favorites.
And the whole thing is you log on to NBA, you get on Twitter looking at all these guys who are trying to act way too smart for their own good, they're all going to say no.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
No, I think so too. And it's just because they've been there, you know? Like, you look at those guys, they've all been there 5 times, and you look at the West, who they're going to be competing against, I don't think that there's, and correct me if I'm wrong, just a little quick note, I don't think there's a guy who starts in the West who started in an NBA championship. Not that I can think of, at least off of a competitor. Russell Westbrook, he got swept by the Heat, but other than that, I don't know if I can name one.
I don't know either.
A guy that starts on a playoff team in the West that has started in an NBA championship game.
Unless Danny Green gets to the West.
Yeah.
That'll be about it.
Yeah, I'm sure there's some role player out there.
Yeah, there's some role player, but
just freak one out.
Yeah, I don't know.
Technically, Iguodala is still in the West. He's in Memphis.
Yeah, okay.
There you go.
Okay.
There we go, boys and girls.
There we go.
But yes.
And I think people underrate a lot is that when you get a connection with these other players, you play so much better.
Yes.
That's why you see the growing pains when you trade somebody mid-season. It doesn't work. This team's been playing together. They're so unselfish. Some of the best basketball I think we've seen in a long time. Yes. They'd be the favorites.
I agree with you. I think they have to be the favorites. So, last up, my throw. And we have an 18.
An 18. The Nets will never win a championship with Kyrie, KD, and DeAndre Jordan.
I actually agree with that. Okay, so Kyrie has won a championship before with the obviously greatest player in the world at the time. It was with LeBron James, and they had another guy who is at least another star, which was Kevin Love. In my opinion, the way that this team looks now, DeAndre Jordan is very similar to a Tristan Thompson, and this team doesn't have that 3, and they definitely don't have that LeBron James who makes all of his teammates better. Kevin Durant, you could make the argument, didn't make his teammates better. In fact, you look at how everybody else played with him on the team, they kind of got worse. And I just don't think that the Kyrie Kevin Durant thing is going to last forever. I think this is going to be something that we see next year, where there's going to be trouble. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming up between these two. You put two guys who don't get along with a whole lot of people in the same room, you're going to have some problems. We're having a Kevin Durant who's now on his third team, a Kyrie Irving who's now on his third team. Kevin Durant played on 3 different high school basketball teams. Like, these guys don't stick around for long. I'll be surprised if both of them are there for the entirety of their contracts, but I do not think they'll win a title.
Ben, you go.
I think they will win a title, or at least they have a great shot to win a title.
They have a shot, for sure.
If staying healthy. I think only health is keeping this team away, because the thing I think about, that Cavaliers team won an NBA championship. They did have Kevin Love, who is definitely better than DeAndre Jordan, or they had a big 3. But what the Nets have, and what I think they did well last year, they have a lot of good role players, and they have a lot of good young role players. So I could see this team really gelling. I could see it being a disaster, but I do think they will win an NBA championship. I'm going to go with yes. It's a hot take. Let's go for it.
Yeah, I'm going with a no. Don't know what KD's going to come back. Don't know how much longer DeAndre Jordan can even play at the level he's playing at right now, because he's regressed, honestly, very super fast. Young players, they could do very well. Just, I still have a championship.
Yeah.
Go with a no.
Okay. So, guys, it is time to transition to Shittiest Take of the Week. So each week we watch a lot of sports television, listen to a lot of sports radio, and people have some very bizarre takes, including Skip Bayless and his Twitter account, which has stayed undefeated through the NBA season, and I feel like we are still in the NBA season, so I can still use Skip Bayless's Twitter account. So, guys, what is your Shittiest Take of the Week?
Mine, Enes Kanter, saying that John Livingston is just ended with hops. This would be Randle's, 4th in the league? 5th in the league? Zion Williamson will probably be as good as Julius Randle come, next February or March or April time. Then the next year, he's going to eclipse Julius Randle. Just so much better of a prospect and player than Julius Randle ever could hope to be.
The only argument you could make to compare him to somebody to say why he's going to be bad is Blake Griffin. That is legitimately the only one guy that you could stick to. And Blake Griffin has played at an NBA All-Star level for countless years.
If you look at the stats, Blake Griffin's actually carving out a Hall of Fame career.
Oh, absolutely.
If he doesn't get hurt anymore, he'll be there. But I'll mention slot from my boy Colin Cowherd.
Oh, let's lay it on me.
Today on his Colin was right, Colin was wrong. He said Colin was right because he said that the 76ers could not keep all their players because they didn't have the money for it. And it came out an hour later that Jimmy Butler declined the max from Philadelphia. So, Colin, you were objectively wrong in saying they could not keep Jimmy Butler.
They actually could, because you can go over the cap infinitely amount as long as you're signing your own players.
Yes.
So
objectively wrong.
Yeah, just
was
objectively wrong.
Yes.
Go ahead.
So I'm actually going with Skip Bayless. I told you I'd stay throughout the NBA season. I feel like the NBA season is not left yet. So Skip Bayless tweeted, "What a perfect signing for the Pelicans. JJ Redick! Exclamation point. Pelicans will be better next season than they ever were with Anthony Davis."
Wow.
Do you remember that Anthony Davis made it to the second round of the postseason before?
Shit, that's a long
He
time
did.
ago.
No, it's only 2 years ago. They beat the Blazers.
He did it once.
Yeah, he did it. He beat the Blazers.
Okay, yeah, that's right.
So he made it to the second round of the playoffs. To say that this team right now is better just because they signed J.J. Redick, you're kind of crazy. Obviously, J.J. Redick puts this team in line to potentially make the playoffs, but to say that they're going to be better than they ever were with Anthony Davis, I feel like this is just sour grapes, going back to the fact that Anthony Davis is now playing with a guy you hate, a.k.a. LeBron James. And another guy who could potentially end up as Anthony Davis's teammate, Kawhi Leonard. I feel like all Skip's doing right here is just putting together an arms race of just things that he's going to hate about the Lakers just because Kawhi Leonard might go there. He's already talked shit about the Clippers. He's talking bad about the Raptors. So every single possible free agency destination that Kawhi Leonard could go, he's just going to go ahead and build up this scarecrow, this straw man argument that these teams are not good, just so he can say, yep, Kawhi Leonard will fail here, and here is why. I said months ago this. Terrible to say this, This Pelicans team is a fine team now. They have a ton of potential, like B-Reich said earlier. 7-9 in the post, 7-9 in the Western Conference. But to say that this team is definitively better than a second-round playoff team, you're crazy. B-Reich, your take.
So, I don't have the direct quote because Nick Wright, as Nick Wright does, rambled on for 3 minutes about nonsense and didn't actually make an argument. But Nick Wright was talking about the D'Angelo Russell. Actually, looking back at a lot of his tweets, he was very, very, very critical of the Warriors, even though they've been the best franchise in 5 years, talking about how they were dead in the water. So they signed D'Angelo Russell, and he gives them props. He says this is good, and this helps them compete for the 7th seed in the West. They have 3 All-Stars at this time. And when Klay Thompson comes back, there'll be a tough out in the first round, but you cannot see them winning a first-round playoff game with Draymond Green, Klay Thompson, Stephon Curry, and D'Angelo Russell. And they got to the NBA Finals without they won the Western Conference Finals without KD.
I love how the Warriors losing the championship, everybody thinking it's Steph Curry and a bunch of Joes.
Yes. No, and then he talked about in depth about Andre Iguodala. Andre Iguodala can't keep up what he's doing forever. I mean, how old is Andre Iguodala?
Yeah, no.
And you can't tell me that D'Angelo Russell coming over isn't going to be a better, and you're going to say 7 seed?
I don't see how you can say it's a good move and then say it makes him a 7 seed.
Well, it clearly means that he had him out of the playoffs completely, not even competing without D'Angelo Russell.
This is a serious question. Would they make the playoffs with just Steph Curry and Draymond Green? No Klay Thompson, no D'Angelo Russell.
I think absolutely, because then Klay Thompson's going to come halfway through the season. I think they piece it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this team's smart enough. Steve Kerr's a good enough coach. Like, they would be able to piece it together. Now that they have 4 All-Stars, they now get into the 7 seed.
They just do it.
They just now snuck in.
And
I love that.
And that comes right after we all wholeheartedly agreed that they'd be the NBA championship favorites once Klay Thompson came back healthy.
Yeah. No, I agree. Mm-hmm. I agree. Well, he's got to make an argument for LeBron.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Evidently. Because evidently Stephen Curry, who is one of the best players in the NBA, he doesn't move the needle for him at all.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So, guys, a little bit of MLB chatter here. So, some fun things to kind of talk about. So, the Tampa Bay Rays announced that they're looking into exploring the idea of playing half of their games in Tampa Bay and the remainder of the half of the season in Montreal and basically have 2 home fields. Is this something that you like or dislike?
So before we get to it, history lesson on why the Tampa Bay Rays even exist. George Steinbrenner, former Yankee, used to live in Tampa. And MLB was going to expand. And George really pushed for Tampa to have a team in the AL East so he could fight in New York 3 fewer times a year. Florida never wanted a team. That being said, this idea is freaking stupid.
Oh, absolutely.
How are you ever convince a free agent to come to you? Let alone you're in Tampa. Can't get him anyway. But now you gotta play half your season in Canada.
Here's some more faults with it. Tampa doesn't want to make a stadium now. Mm-hmm. So you're going to promise them half the season they're going to build you another stadium. You don't have somebody in Montreal. MLB could legitimately expand. And then Montreal's left with nothing. And you're going to tell these poor Canadians to freaking... I'm not saying they're actually poor. I'm just saying poor them. Canadians having to build you a stadium because you're going to bless them with the Tampa Bay Rays, the historic Tampa Bay Rays. No, shut up. It's fun to think about maybe. But what are you going to do if they make the playoffs? What in the hell are you going to do?
Whichever one sells more tickets.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't hate the idea. So, and here's why. Because you give baseball to more markets, and you see some sports in the past where they don't necessarily even have like a home court, where they're kind of like those traveling sports, kind of like how the Big Three is, how there's teams don't necessarily have like a home floor. And you've seen it in other leagues. There's a lacrosse league now that they don't necessarily have like a home base. Tampa Bay has the wild card right now, and did you guys realize what their attendance is?
It's lower than reported because they read off as tickets sold, not the actual
14,000.
Yeah.
They are second fewest in the MLB. So obviously there's a problem in Tampa Bay. Is it a problem with supply and demand, that there's 82 games, not everybody's going to go to them. If you shrink the amount of games, will they be able to sell more tickets to that fan base, knowing that you only have an opportunity to sell at 40 go to a game 41 times? I doubt that's the problem.
Nope, not the problem.
Maybe you just you could try this. I think it would be fine to do one season just to see what it is. I mean, we've never seen this before in sports. I would be interested to see if Tampa Bay, they just people going to Tampa Bay games, if that doesn't increase just because of the supply and demand reasoning there. But I think it's crazy. I think it's something fun to think about. Might be stupid, but I think you should give it a year. Now, if everybody goes to the games in Montreal, but nobody continues to go to these games in Tampa Bay, which I think people would just be more mad and just kind of boycott them, then just move the team to Montreal. Yeah. It's not that hard. Yeah. If you want a team in Montreal, move them there. But I think we should give it a year. I want to give this 1 year to see, and I want this team to make the postseason just so we see what happens.
Who gets the 41st home game?
I don't know.
Who's having tickets?
I think it's like a half and half.
But no,
this logistically cannot happen. You can't have these people going back and forth like this. That's the biggest thing. It's cool to think about, like Greg said, but there's so many issues with that Tampa Bay franchise. Not that they don't compete every year, they do, but they've never sold tickets.
No.
Never. And they have consistently competed for the last 15 years.
They have a good team. Yeah. They have the fourth best team in the AL.
Mm-hmm.
But they built their stadium in a terrible location. Already, we have found out that baseball doesn't do too well in Florida. I mean, Miami's not doing too well either down there. So, really what needs to happen is one of those Florida teams needs to move to Montreal and just go from there.
The Baltimore Orioles, who are one of the worst teams in MLB history, average 3,000 more fans than them every game.
That's very telling. Yeah. And it's not to say people in Tampa Bay just sucked, because the Lightning, the hockey team, was very good, but they sold out every single game this year.
Yeah, that's crazy.
People don't care about baseball. For whatever reason it is. Even whenever they had Carl Crawford up them into the World Series,
they had
it took them until the playoff.
Yeah.
As a Sox fan, I get to watch 9 games a year at the freaking Trop, which is absolutely shithole, but no one's ever at those games.
And what's really funny is that the people, the ownership is trying to sell it is because their stadium's not good enough. That's not a reason.
You still have to play 41 games there.
Yeah,
but that's not a reason people aren't coming to your games. Because your stadium isn't good enough?
Because they just don't care.
Because there's not some cool technology? No, sir.
No,
it's just not. That's not the case.
No,
it's just the fact that Tampa Bay just does not love that baseball.
Yes or no? Would you guys like to see this tried for one season?
Oh yes.
Yeah,
I'd love to see it
just
tried.
To see it.
Yep.
I just want to see I want to see the problems that entails with this. I want to see this team make the postseason. I want to see them go on a little bit of a run. I want them to be a wild card team.
I think
with home field advantage.
That would be awesome.
Where do they go?
Where do they go? You get one game to decide.
Yes.
That would be amazing, and I think they should have a complete rebrand in Montreal. Be called the Montreal
Expos?
Canadian. No, not the Expos, but something about a raid, make it kind of wintry Canadian thing, since they're in the snow more. I just think that would be hilarious.
The snow rays.
Ooh, no.
The snow rays.
Montreal
snow rays.
One of the big white well type things that are in cold places.
What about the syrup devils?
Oh, I don't know what you're talking about.
What are they called? No, they're whales. They're not beluga whales.
Manatees.
Manatees.
No.
Yeah, I mean they could be manatees.
Yeah, sure.
I would love to see a complete rebrand and just.
I just want to see 50-50.
50-50 is nice. I want them to get a wild card game.
50-50.
So, guys, we saw almost a record amount of runs in a series between the Red Sox and Yankees. In the first inning of the series in London, there were 6 runs scored at each side of the plate there. Red Sox scored 6, Yankees scored 6. I think that the second game's over-under was 16 points, or 16 runs, and it still got eclipsed. They were 18 runs scored in the second game. The first game was 3 minutes shy of being the longest 9-inning game in MLB history. Do you guys think that having more games overseas would potentially make for more exciting baseball? And is this something that we should be on board with?
Well, as far as more exciting baseball, off the smaller sample size, it absolutely does.
Absolutely.
Talk about a fucking world of emotion for those 2 games.
Yeah.
That's a lot. But should we see more of it? Simple question. Did either of you guys watch either of those two games?
Yeah.
I watched
I watched
part of
the,
one.
I watched the one that was 6-6 in the first.
I watched more Red Sox baseball this weekend than I did the whole year.
Okay, then on the small sample size, I said, yeah, more of it.
I think there should be one of these every weekend.
Okay, I personally, I did not like the fact that the Red Sox playing this game. I did not like them having to travel across a fucking ocean to play the best team in baseball. But another team I probably would have liked it, but I just like waking up early to watch baseball games. Like, I woke up early to watch the two Mariners Athletic games.
Yeah.
So I'm all for more of this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all for to go to other countries, and I think they should go to more countries that are just super passionate about baseball as well. I mean, you could go to the Dominican, which that might be it. We'll put a halt on that for a couple years probably.
Don't go to the resorts.
Yeah, don't go to the resorts. But I mean, hell, if Cuba could even open up, if we could ever work that out, that'd be phenomenal. Puerto Rico, we've seen that a couple times. It's phenomenal. Anything like that, jumping, growing the game, and as you know, it makes it exciting for a couple series.
Yeah.
And baseball could use a little help.
I mean, realistically, dude.
Maybe change the flow dimensions a little bit, but
yeah, that's true.
3:30 down the line's real short.
And you know what you could do? Throw out a random ass field all the time. Put a green monster in random areas.
Polo grounds, bring it back.
Make it polo grounds. I mean, make things phenomenal. I mean, that could even make things exciting.
That would be fun. But I mean, you don't even have to get that creative with it. I mean, we've seen games in Williamsport where the Little League World Series is. That's a cool idea. You send them over seas and play in different countries. That's a cool idea. I think baseball should have 15 of these per year. Every team gets 1 weekend to themselves with another team, obviously, and switch it up with division rivals. Every year you play one division rival in a 2-game series somewhere just completely bizarre. Each team gives up 1 home game. You still get 40 home games, so it's not like, oh, you're taking our ability to go watch a game away from us. No, that's not necessarily true. It's 1 game out of 40. You're not selling out every game, so that's not an issue. And kind of pump it up like NFL weekend. People look forward to the weekend, and the reason why the NFL ratings are so good is because you make a whole ensemble about it, and you have these kind of things to get excited for. Baseball, middle of June, middle of July, things get kind of stale. You have to have this kind of stuff. I am all on board with it. I think every team should play one of these series every single year.
You guys excited to see the Cubs and Cardinals there next year?
Yeah, I think that's going to be awesome. I'm all for it. I think every team should do this, especially if you're wanting to expand the brand of the MLB.
Yeah, but they gotta pick the teams carefully. Cause you're not gonna send over there the Rays and Orioles.
You might have to, dude. People don't care. They're like London. They were selling out Jacksonville Jaguar games whenever they were terrible.
And they paid the fucking Bills in one of those games.
Yeah,
I mean,
out.
Dude, that's true. It's a good point. But
they're just excited to see the product.
But football is like so much more popular than baseball overall. They got some good teams, but yes, it'll work.
Yeah, I think it would work. I think that would be something to entertain. So, latency, it is time to put you in the spotlight. Each week you go out and you watch several different movies and you bring them in to review. So, latency, what do you have for us today? 1 2 1 2 Pip's Entertainment Review. Sit on down for a movie to view.
This week I'm going to talk about a movie that's on Netflix. It's called Murder Mystery. It stars Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
You saw that movie?
Yeah.
You watched it? Mm-hmm. I like it. So
how come every time latency? How many movies do you watch? I feel like you've watched like 5.
You have
We're
seen
just linking up right now.
The movies.
I don't watch nearly as many movies as Latency. I'm not gonna get on that level. But literally, Netflix was pushing me every single time I logged on to Netflix.
Oh, okay. So it's a Netflix movie.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's funny. So basically, the movie starts out with Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston are married. I don't know how Adam Sandler schooled Jennifer Aniston, but it's Hollywood, so it's thing that
I think
happened.
it's the other way around. How does Jennifer Aniston land Adam Sandler?
Never would that actually be asked.
It wasn't time. So basically, the married, it's not going so great. He thinks he's going to get his promotion. He says he got it, but really he did not. Take his wife off his ass because
Smart move.
Those
things never catch up.
Yep,
to you.
He actually lied for a long time.
Yeah, this is a long lie. And then the day before the anniversary, like a week before, something like that, she was on his ass about the fan. Well, we were saying that. So to cover from that fight, he says, "We're going to Europe tomorrow." Not in those terms, but basically like, we're going to Europe. No plan for that trip at all. But I'll take it that night, we're going to play the next morning, nowhere to stay, anything like that at all. Fortunately, in every tourist's dream, they meet a very rich guy who invites him on his private yacht.
Very charming.
When he's on the private yacht, we try to find out that this billionaire, can't remember his name right now, is going to sign over everything he owns to his gold digger of a wife everybody hates. And then boom, power gets cut, the rich guy dies. So now, Adam Sandler, being the fake detective that he is, has to figure out who killed the rich guy.
Oh, so this is like a legitimate murder mystery
Yes.
movie.
And it's like a comedy, but it's like a murder mystery.
It's really, I don't know. I thought it was kind of funny. Honestly, Adam Sandler movies have gone downhill super hard over the past decade or so.
Don't you say that.
But him and Jennifer Aniston have this
was David Spade in this?
No, it's not.
Was Chris Rock in this?
No.
Neither.
What?
Neither. But
Kevin Spacey?
No.
Wow.
But so I didn't find the jokes that funny. I thought it was kind of clunky how it went along with the story because I don't think the end result was even possible with how the timing worked out. But Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler, for some reason, had this really odd chemistry.
Yeah.
They look really, really well together. You would think of Ross and Rachel up there if you're watching this movie. Look really together and kind of hold it all together for me. I'm going to get 1.7 dips. So it's an okay movie, but
The overall plot was very, very corny, like you said. It didn't seem to flow at all.
No.
But it had Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, so you're going to watch the movie.
Yes.
I'm going to have to check this out.
1.7, huh?
So murder mystery, 1.7?
1.7.
All right.
Well, it's a comedy. I critique comedies the same way I get in a movie, so it's probably better than that, but I get 1.7.
Okay. So, guys, any bold predictions before this for this sports week?
Yep, James Butler, MVP.
That's bold.
That is bold.
It's not impossible.
I do think Kawhi Leonard's going to team up with the Lakers.
I think Kawhi's going to be back in Toronto. That's actually my bold prediction. Vegas favorite, man. You got to listen to Vegas sometimes.
Sometimes.
And on that note, Dippers, for Drake, for Leighton C, and B-Rod, Dippers, as always, stay saucy.